Good morning, people of God. Good morning. This is a brand new day, another day to get it right, another day to pray more, another day to praise more, and another day to share our revelations. And thank you very much for watching the videos. Thank you very much for subscribing. And for those who haven't subscribed, please do so and hit the bell so with the parentheses so that you'll be notified when I upload a new video. I would like to talk to you, to share with you an experience that I did 5 days ago. I was watching a documentary on HBO and the title is The Kingmaker. It was about former President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines and his wife Imelda. She was really, when I was growing up, I would see her in fashion magazines like Vogue, Harper's Bazaars, and things like that, Paris Match, Jour de France. She was very much into the fashion world and the high jewelry. I'm a gemologist and jewelry designer, so I used to watch her. For instance, when Cartier wanted to expose certain kind of jewelries, they would go to her to borrow her from a private collection to expose it and then give it back. She had so many paintings from Picasso to Fragonard to Delacroix, and they were accused, the both of them, as being dictators because it seemed that the money belonging to the people of the Philippines was, they used that money as if it was their own bank account. So having said that, I knew who the Marcos were, and they had to flee. They came to Hawaii, and he passed away here in Hawaii. He had kidney issues, and that's how he passed away. And so it took some time for him, for the government of the Philippines to allow him to allow the family to bring him back. They finally did, so he's buried over there in the Philippines. But every year he used to go to Africa on a safari to go and hunt and just watch those exotic animals. And we all know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Philippines in the north had the Indians, the Native Americans, those Asian people that are dark with straight hair and short and slender. And on the south, people are really black, darker than me. They are really black, and they are called Eta. Eta means the men. And of course, the darker you are, the harder it is for you to have a high-paying job, a good position. So when the Spanish started coming there, and the country is named Philippines because of King Philip II of Spain, that was not the original name of the country. When they started coming, they would rape women, Indians and black, to produce this race of light-skinned Filipino that we have today. And they speak Tagalog, which is a mixture of Indian, of the native language that the Indians were speaking, Spanish, and they have English words in it. So it's a weird, when you listen to them, it's a weird mixture. Anyway, that's their language, the Tagalog. But, so I was watching that documentary, The Kingmaker, and I had a sister that we used to tease. We used to call her Imelda Marcos because she had so many shoes and so many handbags, because Imelda had more than 3,000 pair of shoes, and she had the biggest collection of Hermes purses. For everyone who knows about fashion, you know who Hermes is. So having said that, I watched the documentary with a new eye, and I went to sleep. So at 2 a.m. I woke up to pray like I usually do, and the Holy Spirit told me, he said, let's go to the Philippines to take back the glory of Africa. I was like, the Philippines? He said, yes. I was like, I don't understand that. He said, that documentary that you're watching, Marcos was 33 and a half high level Mason, so he was very high up into the occult. I don't know if you know this, but a black person cannot go above 33. It's you have to be of another complexion so that they will allow you to become a 33 and a half. So he was that, and then they had a mixture of Santeria mixed with something else, and the Catholic magic, because there is such a thing as the occult system, esoteric, coming from the Catholic system, where you can curse someone or do bad things to someone. And they used to do that because in the documentary, so many times, Imelda, she's still alive, she's 86, I think, she's saying, what I want, that's what will happen. When I say something, that's what will happen. When I decide something, that's what will happen. I make it happen. But she was saying it with an inner force that comes from the belly. And I've met many times, women have that kind of drive and stamina. So it takes another woman who will come with the power of God to undo or to undermine what they built. And so I understood that. And the Holy Spirit told me, he said, remember when they used to go on the continent of Africa to go to safari? I said, yes. So they purchased 6 animals from each, a zebra, lion, giraffe, you name it. 6 of each. I'm assuming that they paid, it was not a gift. And they took those animals back to the Philippines. They had this island where they evicted 245 families that were native of that land. They are Asian, but of that complexion, they are brown. They moved them from that place to have the animals live there. And that's how powerful Marcos was. So the Holy Spirit told me, he said, by doing that, they took the glory of Africa with them, because at that time, his presidency was being shaken and undermined by people demanding more rights, more freedom, a better life. So he saw that Africa had a glory, and he took, in the Republic of Kenya, he went there and he took something, brought it back to the Philippines, and he sat on that thing. So there is such a thing in the occult world for those who know what they are doing. I can look at you, I see that you are glowy, that you are shining, and you have something that I don't have. And I see that you are not praying accordingly to safeguard and protect what you have. So I can come in the spirit realm, subdue you, and take your glory and your light and put it from you. I put it where I want. That's what happened, and that's how they were able to stretch the time and to last a little bit more longer as president of the country. So he told me, let's go take it, and we did. We went. It took me 2 days to do that. People of God, it's real, but when I finished, my thoughts were like, okay, I need to go in deeper, because everywhere that we have a zoo in the world, everywhere that we have these African animals in those zoos, that means that either they purchased the animals or they were given as a gift. Fine. And then you have those that just took the animals and placed them in a zoo so people can come and visit. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you have those who come with an occult eye. They take the animals, and by taking the animals, they take also a portion of the glory of the continent. Because, as I told you, the word Pangea, we had that pan means everything together. I'm going to do a whole video about that. That Pangea, when Noah was building the boat, the continents, all the continents were together. So the Garden of Eden, the Holy Spirit studied like 10 years ago, and I thought that my mind, there was something wrong with me, until I discovered this book by Gert Müller, where he's placing the Garden of Eden in East Africa. And then I listened to this lecture by Stan Deyo. He's a Christian brother, a white or Caucasian man that I highly respect. He's very, very bright and knowledgeable, and he talked about that too. So I started putting 2 and 2 together, and I saw that I'm not crazy. What I saw was real, something there in East Africa. So when we see where the animals are, they are roaming, they have their migration path, the way they go according to the times and the seasons. They don't have a shepherd that leads them, but they know where to go when it's raining, when it's not raining, when it's too cold. They were created there. There is such a thing as a residual memory. They know that this is their place. They were placed there by the Most High, by the Creator, and that's where they are. So a portion of Eden is there. I mean, those animals were created there. In Tanzania, where my people came from, there is a place called Usumbwa, means the place of creation. The people that came from there are called Basumbwa, and the language that they speak is Kisumbwa, and that means Basumbwa Nili is the people of God, the creatures of God, God's creature, depending on. So in the Philippines, those black Asian in the south are called Eta. Eta means the men. The men. And Bantu means the men. When the white came to Africa, they asked, who are you? They say, we are Bantu. Bantu is not a name. It means I'm a man. I'm a human being. Who told us that we are human beings? And if we are human beings, then what about the others? I don't know, but I just wanted to bring up these questions so that we think together and understand things together. But there's so much that we need to know. So much that we need to go back to the basics. And so my job, or my desire, my curiosity, it's a deep sense. I would like to know and bring what the Holy Spirit is telling me and what is written in the book, in books, and come up with the truth somewhere there, and be able to explain it and to teach to people, because we need to know. There are so many things that we don't know. We have forgotten who we are, and we have lost sense of our identity and where we came from and how we got there and who is our creator. We need to go back to the start points, to the drawing board. Anyway, so the Eta in the Philippines are just called the men, and we in Africa, we are called Bantu. So I see the correlation there, with the melanin and all, because the first creatures were all melanized on every continent. So that's what I wanted to share with you, what we did with the Holy Spirit, what was done by former President Marcos. He passed away, but he has his son, Ferdinand Jr., his little name is Bong Bong. He's well on his way to come back to the presidency. He's a senator right now, and he has his daughter, Ime, who is, she was governor, now she's a senator, and her son is the governor of the state where they came from. But we need to be mindful and keep knowing that when a father establishes something with the occult power and esoteric power, and when his child come to that level, they can sit on what the father has established. And same thing goes to on God's side, what I'm doing, the service that I'm doing for God. When my son will become of age, he will come and sit on what I just built and established with God and in God. So it makes sense that this was the right time, while we don't have a Marcos at the realm of the country, to take back what belongs to Africa. And I see the hand of the Most High in this, because he's gathering people of Africa. There is an awakening, there is an awareness of our identity and what was done to us, what was lied and told, but it was not true. But they told us that, they fed us so many lies. So many things were not told or diverged to us. And the time has come. The time has come for us to know, to understand, and to go back where we belong. That's what I wanted to share with you. And so it's possible to steal the glory of someone, or the glory of a country or a continent, and take it back where I want to use it. That's what happened. I discovered it. The documentary is still on HBO. It's called The Kingmaker, because after all, Imelda was the power behind the president. She was the president. She was the one giving orders, giving ideas, and going on international trips. It's a very informative documentary, and I highly recommend it. Please watch it if you can. The Kingmaker. Thank you very much, and God bless you, and may He continue to show us what belongs to us so we can take it back. Take it back because it's ours. Thank you.